If you enjoy stories like this, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more powerful true stories. For 3 months straight, Jordan Harris had been waking up to the same problem: deep tire tracks carved across his freshly mowed lawn. He lived in a quiet suburban neighborhood, the kind of place where the HOA cared more about grass height than actual people. But every morning, as the sun rose over the cul-de-sac, Jordan's lawn looked like a monster truck rally had passed through it. The culprit? His neighbor, Karen Whitmore, the self-proclaimed head of the HOA landscaping committee. Karen had a bad habit of cutting corners. Literally. Every day, instead of taking the street around the cul-de-sac, she drove through Jordan's yard to shave off a few seconds from her morning route. At first, Jordan tried to stay calm. He was a gentleman, a landscape architect who took pride in his lawn. The same patch of green his late father once planted when they bought the house. He walked over one morning as she rolled by, smiling politely. "Good morning, Mrs. Whitmore. Could you please avoid driving over the grass? It's damaging the soil." Karen gave a short laugh. "Oh, please, it's just grass. You can fix it. That's what you people do, right?" Jordan froze. The words hit harder than the tires on his lawn. He took a deep breath, reminding himself to stay composed. "Ma'am, this is private property." Karen waved dismissively. "Then put up a sign or something." So he did. A big red sign that said, "Private property, no trespassing." But the next day, the tracks were back, this time right beside the sign. Jordan recorded it on his doorbell camera, the same silver SUV, the same driver, rolling over the edge of his lawn with a smirk. Enough was enough. That weekend, Jordan went to the hardware store. He bought 24 steel garden spikes, the kind used for landscaping barriers, sharp, thick, and completely invisible under the grass. He carefully aligned them along the path where Karen's tires always went, burying them just low enough to stay hidden. Then he waited. The next morning, right on schedule, Karen's silver SUV came barreling through. There was a loud pop, then another, followed by a hiss. Her car screeched to a stop, front tire shredded. From his porch, Jordan sipped his coffee and watched as she stepped out, fuming. What did you do?" She screamed, storming toward him. He stood calmly. "Good morning, Mrs. Whitmore. Looks like you hit something." "You sabotaged me," she shouted. "You'll pay for this." He pointed at the sign behind her. "Private property? You were warned." The crowd of neighbors who'd gathered tried not to laugh as she stomped back to her car, yelling, "I'm reporting this to the HOA." Jordan smiled. "Go ahead. Tell them you broke the rules and popped your own tires." By noon, the HOA had sent a formal complaint to Jordan's inbox. Subject: violation of community safety standards. He couldn't help but laugh. "Unbelievable," he muttered. Later that evening, a small hearing was held in front of the HOA board, 3 members sitting under a tent in Karenia's driveway, acting like they were the Supreme Court. Karen started dramatically. "This man endangered my life. I could have been seriously hurt." Jordan folded his arms. "You mean when you illegally drove across my lawn for the 15th time?" Karen glared. "There's no proof of that." Jordan pulled out his phone, opened the doorbell camera app, and played the footage. Clip after clip. Karen's car, the tires, the sign, everything. The crowd that had gathered gasped. Even one of the board members, Mr. Gomez, shook his head. "Mrs. Whitmore, this clearly shows you trespassing." Karen snapped. "That doesn't matter. He planted traps." Jordan leaned forward. "Those spikes were on my property, designed to stop erosion. If your tires found them, well, maybe you shouldn't have been there." The board whispered among themselves, embarrassed. Finally, Mr. Gomez spoke again. "Mrs. Whitmore, the HOA rules protect property lines. You're in clear violation. Consider this your final warning." Karen's face turned red as she stood up. This isn't over. But it was. 2 days later, the HOA quietly emailed an apology to Jordan, admitting miscommunication. And within a week, a city inspector showed up. Not for Jordan, but for Karen. Turns out she'd been operating her side business, a backyard pet daycare, without a permit. The same neighbors who'd watched her yell at Jordan reported the whole thing. Her HOA status was suspended pending review. One afternoon, as Jordan was mowing his lawn, Karen's husband walked over sheepishly. "Hey, man, she went too far. Sorry about all that." Jordan smiled. "No hard feelings. I just wanted to grow my lawn in peace." As the sun set over the neighborhood, the green grass shimmered. Perfect again. Not a single tire mark in sight. From that day on, no one dared cut across his yard. In fact, the HOA eventually asked Jordan to design the neighborhood park, his landscaping skills becoming the pride of Maple Ridge. When the ribbon-cutting day came, even Karen had to show up. She stayed quiet, sunglasses hiding her face, as everyone clapped for the man who turned his frustration into creation. Jordan looked around the crowd and said, "Sometimes you don't need to fight back with anger. You just plant the right idea and let it grow." The crowd applauded. Karen looked down, avoiding his gaze. And from then on, no one ever dared to underestimate Jordan Harris again. Have a wonderful day ahead. If this story touched your heart, please like the video, comment below, and subscribe for more.